Hmm? Oh, hey guys! It's been a while. I should have released this video a long time ago, but I kept dragging it out. So, in order to finally finish and release it, I'll keep it as simple as I can accept. Ahem. I have this tendency to overcomplicate simple things. And honestly, I hate it. Imagine wanting to do something, but instead of just doing it, my brain convinces me that it'll be more effective if I also include these other similar things and multitask them. It sounds productive, right? But it's a trap. I've rewritten this script multiple times because it never felt right. I even thought about giving up on this topic multiple times, but my gut instinct kept telling me that I had to make it. Originally, I wanted to talk about my failed project. About this too. Interested? Good, let's go through it briefly. I was working as an animator at a small game studio and wanted to learn more about game engines. Instead of using Unreal Engine's default mannequin, I decided to create my own character, the one I felt connected to. I chose Wargreymon. Was it ambitious? Absolutely. His old sprites looked incredible in older games, and I wanted to make a low poly model with strong silhouettes and hand-painted textures. The goal was to learn multiple skills at once: modeling, texturing, rigging, animating, all while learning Unreal Engine. At first, everything went well. I had fun working on Wargreymon, but slowly I drifted from my original goal. Instead of focusing on game engines, I became obsessed with perfecting every detail: sculpting, modeling, texturing, etc. When it was finally time to bring him into Unreal Engine, I ran into a major obstacle. The steep learning curve and the challenge of tackling everything at once quickly became overwhelming. Then Digimon Survive came out. I decided to take a well-earned break and play it. My only expectation? A fun Digimon game. But what I didn't expect was how much it would inspire me. I really liked how they made chibi versions of Digimons when they fought, and kept wondering how they would have looked if they were a 3D model. At a critical moment in the game, my Agumon evolved, not into Wargreymon, but into Machine-Dramon. At first I was disappointed, until I saw him in action and heard its beautiful voice.
無限ドラモン求めたパワーだ。どう暴れてやろうか。無限キャノン
That changed everything. Suddenly I was hooked. Machine-Dramon quickly became my favorite Digimon in that game and my go-to choice. Mostly because of voice.
勝手に死なれちゃ困るんだよ。
Inspired, I modeled Machine-Dramon in 3D. Unlike Wargreymon, I finished it in just 3 to 4 days. That rush of creativity felt amazing. Then another idea hit me. Maybe I can create some interactions. Or fights between Wargreymon and Machine-Dramon. I already had both models. I wanted to learn Unreal Engine. So why not make a small game where they fought? It seemed like the perfect idea. But here's the problem. I still knew nothing about Unreal Engine. Somehow, my brain convinced me that I could only start working on a game engine if I finished both models perfectly, so that I would be fully prepared. But there was another problem. Machine-Dramon's model wasn't optimized for a game. It had dense topology. So, to make the game work, I had two options. First, redesign Machine-Dramon to be low poly. Second, make Wargreymon more detailed to match Machine-Dramon. On top of that, I had to get myself familiar with Unreal Engine's interface, learn Unreal Engine's blueprint system, figure out environment design, understand game mechanics and logic, learn basic coding, and the list goes on. Each step added more complexity. The more I tried to make it perfect, the more impossible it became. Eventually, I started procrastinating, overwhelmed by the sheer amount of work needed. I never stopped to ask myself if I really wanted to learn game engines. I just assumed I had to, because I worked on a game project. But there was never any obligation to learn it. I set myself a goal to learn game engines, but I kept retreating into my comfort zone, 3D art creation, convincing myself that I was being productive, when in reality I was just making excuses for procrastination. Instead of just starting, I kept delaying by doing more 3D work. The funniest part, no one even knew I was doing this project. I had built up this imaginary pressure, as if an invisible audience was waiting for me to finish. But in reality, the only person I was letting down was myself, and stressing out over it. Eventually, I had to let it go. I lost. I couldn't keep going like that. I did everything except my main goal: to learn Unreal Engine. Yeah, I made my task far more complicated than it needed to be. Maybe if I just stuck with a default mannequin, the project could have actually worked out. Who knows? And that's the main theme of this video: overcomplication. Even in writing this script, I overcomplicated it by thinking of various ways to visualize the concept, forgetting that I'm just one person with a limited daily time. Overcomplication is a form of self-sabotage. It tricks us into thinking we're making progress when we're actually just running in circles. We convince ourselves we need more time, better tools, or perfect conditions before we can begin. But in reality, we just need to start. The real enemy isn't lack of resources or knowledge. It's hesitation. It's the belief that we need to be fully prepared before taking action. But here's the truth: you'll never feel fully ready. Progress comes from doing, from taking that first imperfect step and learning as you go. So, my final takeaway: stop waiting, stop overcomplicating, just start. Keep it simple, embrace imperfection, and move forward. That's what I'm learning to do, and I hope you do too. Thanks for watching, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully. Oh, the video still isn't 8 minutes? Well, I guess I can extend it by showing you more turntables of my Wargreymon and Machine Dramon models. Hope you all had a good time. I watched the PlayStation State of Play, and it got me so hyped up for the new Digimon game. And of course, my most anticipated game, Monster Hunter Wilds. I just want to play it right now. Oh, looks like we've hit 8 minutes. Most people will probably skip the end, so if you're still here, let me know by commenting your most hyped game of 2025. Alright, see you later.